I'd like to welcome everybody back. We're so excited for this new school year. The building is almost completely finished. We've hired a lot of new staff this year, and I just really looking forward to all the great things that are going to be happening at Taylor County High School this year. What we want to do this morning while you're in your advisor groups, we want to go over the student handbook, and so I don't have to do it over the loudspeaker because we know that some rooms you can't hear it as great. So I'm going to go ahead and I'd like for everybody's attention as we go over the student handbook. Now, one thing that's different this year is we didn't make copies of the student handbook for all 880 kids. This just have a little paper. This can be found on the school webpage, and it's at the top left-hand corner, so you can access it, show your parents where it is. If you'd like to request a print copy, please stop by the office and we'll get a copy for you if you'd like to take that home, but that can be accessed on the school webpage at any time. There have been no changes to the discipline code and the student handbook this year, but I do want to touch base on a couple of things with you. When we get through with this video, I'm going to ask your advisor teachers to please put the handbook up on the Cuomo board and review these sections with you again so that we can be assured that everybody's here, you understand the expectations and the rules that we follow here at Taylor County High School. First of all, we do have student expectations, and this is for every class. I want to talk to you a little bit about this. One, when the bell rings, please don't be running in the door at the very last minute. Be in the room, get your stuff together, and be seated when the bell rings. That helps your teacher get classes started. And I know this is a large building. Some of you may have one room at the choir, and then you got Mr. Litton, and I know it's short. Work with your teacher so that they know that you've got a long haul between those classes. I ask that you come to class prepared with all of your materials every day. If you're supposed to have a pencil, have a pencil. If you don't have one, before the bell rings, touch base with your teacher. I bet they have an extra one. I ask that all students follow teachers' instructions and procedures in a respectful manner. You've got 7 teachers, and you're going to have 7 different set of expectations from your teachers, but these are expectations for everyone. When your teacher asks you to do something, please just be polite and do it. And if you have an issue with something, then you can talk to them after class. But the classroom time is not the time to debate a class rule. Complete task if you're doing group work, if you're doing a lesson, be a part of the class. Ask questions. Ask questions when you don't understand something. Be a part of the group if you're doing group work, and do your homework and come in with that. You'll see all the difference that it will make for you. I ask that you be a team player in the classroom, and that you treat your classmates and your teachers and any of the adults who happen to be in the room with respect. We know we have visitors all the time. When a visitor's in your classroom, for the most part, you can ignore them, but if they're sitting around you, welcome them to your class. And also, we ask that at the end of the class, the teacher may not be finished saying what they're saying. Wait for the bell, wait for the teacher to dismiss you from class, and that's just an easy thing to remember, and that lets them get the last few words out before you're getting all of your stuff together and heading out the door. One thing I do want to remind you, if you leave the classroom during class time, please get a hall pass. Teachers have various procedures on how they do hall passes, and how some of them make you sign out, which is a good thing. And some teachers don't, but you should always have a hall pass with you when you are leaving the classroom during class. I ask you to respect the 10-10 rule. And this helps us as a school see who started a class and if there's any issues with anybody in the hallway. So the first 10 minutes of class, please respect the teacher as they are getting attendance done and as they are handling all the first of class issues. Please don't ask to leave the classroom until about that 10-minute mark. And then the last 10 minutes of class, we would like for you to take that time as well to let the class teacher finish her lessons before and not ask to leave the classroom during that time. Attendance is so important in everything. Attendance is important in life. And if you've been here very long, you've heard me say it before, please show up. Show up for school, show up for your friends, show up for ball practices, show up for the things that you're supposed to show up for. If for some reason you're sick and you're not able to make it to school one day, please call the attendance office, and you'll be able to find that phone number in your student handbook. And so show your parents where it is, and it might be good to write it down so they can make that morning phone call. And then when you come back the next day, please bring a note so that we can put that in your folder and we can excuse or unexcuse that absence. If you are late to school, please check in at the front office, and so that we can get that in the system. And I do want everybody to understand there's two different things. There's a school tardy and there's a tardy to class. A school tardy affects your attendance. School tardies are reported. You will see them on your official transcripts. And that's what, if you have a lot of tardies to school, that can kick you out of prom, that can kick you out of student trips and other things. So please try to be at school on time all the time. Classroom tardy is a little bit different, and classroom tardy is starting after second period and on. So if you are at your locker and hanging out with your friends, and then all of a sudden you say, oh, I need to go to the restroom. So you go to the restroom, and then you've used up all your time, the bell rings, and you come to class 5 minutes tardy or so. That's a classroom tardy. I've asked teachers to please record students who are tardy to class, and then they will start resulting in lunch detentions, and if there are excessive ones, then it will be further discipline issues that we've asked them to turn names into the office for that. And the reason that we're picky about this is you can't learn if you're not in the classroom. And if you're not in the classroom and you're flying in at the last minute, or you're asking to leave all the time, that's a disruption to the class. And it's really disrespectful to the teachers as well. So you got 5 minutes to take care of your business. If there is an issue that's going to take you longer than that, please touch base with your teacher is all that we ask. I want to review the school trip policies and the prom policies. You've got to be in good academic standing. You've got to have good attendance. And you can't have any major discipline infractions as well. So please make sure that you read over both the student trip policy and the prom policy as well. Our dress code has not had any changes in the last couple of years. And really, truly, I so appreciate all of you last year, because we had very few dress code problems at all. When you are out of dress code, it makes an uncomfortable situation for all of us. We have probably one of the most relaxed dress codes I know of any school around, and we do this so that you can be an individual. You can dress in the style that you feel comfortable in. And so here's what we ask. I ask that if you've got a hoodie on, that you don't have the hood. And that's a safety a safety reason. If you have your hood up from the back, we can't tell who you are, and at all costs we want to make sure that we can tell who someone is, and that we know that we can identify you as a student or a staff member. And if there's someone in the building that's not supposed to be in the building, then we can take immediate action. When your hood is up, can't tell who you are, and so we just ask that you keep your hood down at all times. And this building it's pretty comfortable as far as temperature goes, and I don't think you're going to have any issues with that. Keep the pajamas at home, except on maybe homecoming if we have a pajama day. So no pajamas, no pajama pants, no house shoes. But other than that, we have a pretty flexible dress code. The biggest issues that we usually see with dress code, besides the hoodies up, and once we explain to people, then I think everybody understands that. And sometimes the shorts and the skirts, both girls and guys, sometimes they're borderline short. And so just please be respectful, because it's an uncomfortable conversation when we have to address that. So if you think there's a possibility it's too short, it's probably too short, and just don't wear it. And I know with guys it's a new style, the shorts are getting shorter, so guys, don't make me have those conversations with you either. As far as your cell phone policies go, school-wide, all cell phones should be on silent during the day. I keep mine on silent during the day, and I ask teachers to do that as well, because that can disrupt if it goes off. We also ask that all cell phones be put away during instructional time, and there are times when teachers will allow you in the classroom. Maybe you're doing an activity with it, or you're researching with it, or maybe you're sitting and you're doing classwork and your teachers allowed you to do that. That's fine. We ask that you follow the teacher's instructions on how they handle cell phones. It becomes a discipline issue when a teacher asks you to either put your cell phone away and you refuse, or they ask you to put the cell phone on their desk and you refuse, and that, once again, it becomes uncomfortable for everybody. We're not going to take your cell phones away and keep them, but we do ask you to respect our instructional time with those as well. So please make sure that you glance over the cell phone policy. It has has not changed from last year. Tobacco and e-cigarette policy, they are all, any tobacco products, paraphernalia, e-cigarettes, any of that, they are just prohibited from school grounds and are subject to confiscation as well as discipline issues. So let's keep our school clean, keep the dip out of your mouth. Please don't spit anywhere, none of that. It just makes for a nasty classroom. Cigarettes have no place in this property at all. It smells bad. People don't want to smell it. If you want to smell bad, you want to smoke and you want to smell that way and you want to do that, if that is your decision, but the school property is not the place to do that. And e-cigarettes, please remember that e-cigarette pipes will be confiscated and cartridges will be taken out to determine that no illegal substances or synthetic drugs are being used, and we will turn those over to our school resource officer, Ricky Underwood. The rest of the handbook deals with student code and behaviors, and one thing I do want to touch base with is I want everybody to understand that bullying, harassment, unfair teasing, rude behavior, exclusion on purpose so that you keep people out of groups, none of that has a place in the school. And none of that will be tolerated, and there are laws to protect students, not just in this building but across the state, and it is my job to make sure that everybody feels safe coming to school, that everybody feels like they belong here, and I'm going to uphold that to the best of my ability, because I would want the same thing for my children. So this is a safe place, and bullying and hazing or any of the other threatening or intimidating behavior is not going to be tolerated at Taylor County High School. If for some reason that you have an issue that or if you see something happening that you need to report, please see a guidance counselor, see one of the adults in the building, report it to a teacher, find me, Mr. McQuarrie or Mr. Franklin immediately, and we will make sure that things are taken care of. I thank you for your patience and listening as we go over the school handbook, but I want to make sure that we're all on the same page and that we understand and that there are no misconceptions about what the rules and policies are here. I'm looking forward to this year. I think that it's going to be a great one, and I'm so glad to have everyone here today. Thank you.